What's the price tag to replace the president at Edison State College? Would you believe it costs nearly $1 million?
It's true. We added up what the school paid to fire and then replace former President Kenneth Walker, and it came out to more than $970,000.
But as Fox 4 investigator Matt Grant discovered, despite calls for transparency, there are some things the college spent money on during the search that you will never know about.
All right, you may have been asked to donate money to Edison, and you probably thought that money was going to help kids get an education. But we found some donations went towards things other than scholarships. Jamie Hale works during the day to pay for classes at night.
I love it here at Edison. I think it's a great school.
A school Hale doesn't want to leave, but feels she has no other choice. She's been turned down for a scholarship for the past 3 years. Money she's been offered at another school.
This money is very tight, and any scholarship or any financial aid that could help me out is definitely beneficial.
As it turns out, money that could be going to students like Hale in the form of unspecified donations to the college have been used to pay for sit-down meals for top officials.
I would like everybody to do one dinner. And then if you can do one lunch, if not, some of us who are retired can do a couple lunches.
In this audio recording from the June 26 board meeting, the trustees discussed taking the then 3 presidential candidates out to lunch and dinner on the dime of donors.
Can we take them like to dinner anywhere we want to, or how does that work? Okay,
Yeah.
Great.
Each trustee was given authority to take the candidates anywhere they wanted. And guess what? You'll never know where they went or how much money was spent.
It's about transparency.
Despite calls for transparency, it's against Florida law for Edison to release how private donations are spent. The statute says any information related to the expenditure of funds shall be confidential. And that angers former trustee and longtime donor Dr. David Klein, who's given more than $250,000 to the college and whose name is on the bell tower of the Charlotte campus.
People have a right to know where the money is going.
Back in January, we wanted to know who paid for former President Ken Walker's Cadillac Escalade. Edison told us they couldn't give us that information because the money came from a private fund called the Edison Foundation. The foundation collects donations for things like scholarships and financial aid. According to their mission, the foundation strives to advance the education and welfare of the institution.
This is a public entity. Taxpayer money, donated money. It's not some secret society somewhere. It's not Skull and Bones at Yale.
Donors like Klein, who did not specify where they wanted their money to go, checking off a box labeled Area of Greatest Need, foot the bill for Walker's Cadillac, and dinner for the trustees.
Do you have any idea when you said use it for the area of greatest need that your money would be going for some of these things?
No, I always imagined it was just for scholarships. That would make me hesitant to want to donate any more money.
Money the foundation needs. We checked its most recent tax returns and found between 2010 and 2011, the foundation took in $2.6 million, but spent $3.4 million, leaving them $940,000 in the red. Money, Klein says, should have only been spent on education.
So the money's not just sitting there to be used for any purpose. It has to be for a specific purpose, which is educating students who otherwise can't afford to go to college.
While we don't know what else the college is spending donations on, we do know Edison laid off a slew of faculty and administrators this year and shut down their eStudio lab in June due to a lack of funding. It was a place where students struggling could get extra help. Donations could have kept it open, but some donors think the foundation's books should stay closed.
I earmark it. I know exactly where it's going to be spent on.
Robert Bucky McQueen has given $50,000 to the college. He says the public doesn't have a right to know how private donations are spent.
If it's private money, hey, no, I don't think they have an obligation to release it.
Why not?
Because it's private money. It's not public money.
Money Hale wishes could have helped her.
Yeah, I don't feel entitled to that money, but I feel like the money could be used towards the students' benefit.
Okay, a spokeswoman for Edison State College released a statement today saying donors trust that they will be good stewards of their gifts, and current laws allow the foundation to respect and protect their wish for privacy.
Edison State College is spending your donated money in secret. And guess what? We discovered not all of this is going to students.
4 in Your Corner investigator Matt Grant continuing to track your donor dollars, and now one lawmaker is promising action.
When you donate to the college, unless you specify exactly how you want your money spent, the college's foundation can spend it any way they want, and you'll never know what they're spending your donations on. After 3 years of being turned down for scholarships at Edison, Jamie Hale is transferring next year because she can't afford it anymore.
Money is very tight, and any scholarship or any financial aid that could help me out is definitely beneficial.
A Fox 4 investigation discovering college donations that could have helped Hale instead went towards other things, like a $60,000 Cadillac Escalade for fired President Ken Walker and sit-down meals for top officials.
Motion carried.
Back in May, 8 board members discussed taking the presidential candidates out for dinner, individually, anywhere they wanted.
I would like everybody to do one dinner. And then if you can do one lunch, if not, some of us who are retired can do a couple lunches.
Can we take them like to dinner anywhere we want to, or how does that work? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Those meals were paid for by donors like Dr. David Klein, who's given more than $250,000 to Edison and whose name is on the bell tower at the Charlotte campus. Klein says he never specified how he wanted his money spent. Instead, he checked off a box marked area of greatest need.
Do you have any idea when you said use it for the area of greatest need that your money would be going for some of these things?
No, I always imagine it was just for scholarships. I'm sure anybody looking to donate money now is probably thinking, well, gee, another kind of black eye for Edison.
Under Florida law, you're not entitled to know where the trustees went to dinner or how much money was spent. That's because the state considers private donations confidential and exempt from public scrutiny.
I don't know, it just doesn't seem right. This is a public entity. Taxpayer money, donated money. It's not some secret society somewhere.
Klein wants to see the law changed.
Just want to see wiser use of the money.
So we showed his interview to Republican State Representative Matt Caldwell.
Hearing a donor of that substantial weight saying that he has concerns gives me pause and makes me want to reflect on how we've got it organized as of today.
Caldwell's no stranger to Edison. He helped change the law, making college presidents' reviews public after our investigations. As for that luxury Cadillac Walker got, paid for with donor dollars,
I think everyone would have a very difficult time justifying that.
Given that, do you think any laws need to change?
I definitely want to take a look at it. I personally, like I said, don't have a problem with disclosure of the expenditures.
the college says donors trust the way they handle their money and expect privacy. But Caldwell says even though it's private money, it's still a public college.
So you think the book should be open?
I don't see any reason why you would not want them to be open.
Something Klein wants as well. And unless something changes, the college's biggest donor says he's hesitant to donate any more money.
I would have hoped that after the Cadillac and after Dr. Walker's departure, this would stop. And say, we're going to stop, we're going to do it by the numbers, we're going to be so clean, we're going to squeak.
Representative Caldwell says he supports releasing donor names on top of where the money is being spent. Under the current law, though, we'll never know what else the college is spending your donations on, something Caldwell promises to look into during the next legislative session.
An unaccountable slush fund. That's what one former Edison trustee is saying about the college's foundation, which raises money for scholarships and financial aid. This after a Four Corner investigation found tens of thousands of your donation dollars being spent in a very unlikely way. Investigator Matt Grant joins us now with more.
Well, Emily, former board member Pamela C. has some stinging words for the Edison Foundation. The foundation collects donations for financial aid and scholarships. Its mission is to advance the welfare of Edison and its students. But we found donation money that could have gone to students instead went to buying former President Ken Walker a $60,000 Cadillac Escalade and sit-down dinners for the Board of Trustees. And this is all being done in secret because under state law, donations are considered private and confidential. We found out only when our public records requests were denied because the college said things like dinners and Walker's Cadillac were paid for by the foundation, meaning donor dollars. And because by law we're not allowed to see how those donations are spent, C worries the foundation is spending money unchecked any way they want.
Because the foundation has managed to operate without any public scrutiny at all. If this were politics, you'd be calling it a slush fund. I know I would.
A Four in Your Corner investigation prompting a state lawmaker to take action. Four in Your Corner's Matt Grant has more on what this state representative is promising to do that could lead to greater transparency at Edison State College.
Republican State Representative Matt Caldwell met with Edison President Dr. Jeffrey Albritton to discuss changing a law that would force the college's foundation to disclose how your donations are being spent. Your money spent in secret. By law, Edison's foundation can spend your donations any way it wants, exempt from public scrutiny.
It's all about transparency.
Former Edison trustee Dr. David Klein says transparency is missing from the college's foundation. His family's donated more than $250,000 to the college, money he thought went towards scholarships. But a Fox 4 investigation discovering Klein's unspecified donations helped buy a $60,000 Cadillac Escalade for former President Ken Walker, along with sit-down dinners for the presidential candidates back in June.
There is a fiduciary responsibility to use this money in the most useful manner. That is to say, to help people get their degrees.
Klein wants to know if donor dollars were being spent on dinners and a Cadillac, what else is it being spent on? But by law, you don't have to know. In a statement, the college told us current statutes allow the foundation to respect and protect donors' wish for privacy.
The names are there. I mean, people can see who donated.
But as Klein points out, the college puts out a book each year, complete with donor names and how much they spent.
The majority of the donors feel like the expenses ought to be public record, and that's going to be a big part of the discussion we have in the springtime.
Republican State Representative Matt Caldwell is looking into changing the law. He recently met with the college's president, Dr. Jeffrey Albritton.
He's not looking for anything to be hidden or kept away.
I asked if that means Albritton is on board with opening the books.
I think what he's going to do is leave it up to the legislature. I don't think he's going to actively oppose us.
Caldwell says he favors changing the law so public colleges would have to disclose how private donations are spent, so you can decide if it's a good use of your money. In the newsroom, Matt Grant, Fox 4, in your corner.